Am I the asshole for telling my stepmom I will never see her as a parent? I, 15 female, have a stepmom who my dad has been dating since 2017. They got married in 2020, and since around 2022 everything has changed. She used to be kind, and now she feels downright judgmental. It all started with her making me measure out my food. She would literally make me take out the measuring spoon and measure my yogurt, because she said that my portions were too big. This was for all kinds of food, but she would never do it in front of my dad. I never took it personally because I knew that she struggled with her weight, and my dad told me that her doctor told her that she needed to lose weight, and that's why she was trying all sorts of different diets. She's also nothing like my mother. She can say the rudest things in the most calm tone and be extremely passive-aggressive. And when my mom is upset, she will not be like that at all. She is rarely passive-aggressive. And my stepmom tends to go to her room when she's upset and send me a paragraph-long text the next day, and my mom is nothing like that. We always talk out the issue. My mom is not perfect, but they are extremely different. There are all kinds of issues leading up to this, including her not letting me and my 13-year-old brother go with her, and my dad to pick up our new puppy, which I was obviously very excited about. As a 15-year-old girl, she checks my dad's email and my grades on a regular basis, and then tells him that he needs to talk to me about my school and my grades. It is odd because my dad would never check those kind of things if she wasn't there. I'm not hiding anything. I have almost all straight A's with 1 B, and yet there's always something to talk about. The issue happened a few weeks ago when I was in the car with her and my brother, and she was talking to me about my food and saying that I packed too big of portions in my lunchbox. Not that this matters, but I've never been overweight. I'm 5'7", 140 pounds. And I'm always doing sports, but I don't feel like that matters, because even if I was, I feel like it would be extremely critical and rude. She told me that I need to pack smaller portions in my lunchbox, and I responded with, "I'm glad that you're not my parent, and I will never see you as one." In the following weeks, my dad has said that she's trying to take steps back and give me my space, but she continues to check my dad's emails about me and my grades, and always has something to say when my dad is not there. I'm asking if I'm in the wrong, because what if I was overreacting as a 15-year-old girl, and what if I just need to calm down, because I assume being a stepmom is hard, but I just feel extremely trapped in the family dynamics with her most of the time. If there are any weird typos, I'm sorry. I did voice to text. Not the asshole. The fact that she has things to say behind your dad's back shows she knows what she's doing is wrong. I'm so sorry you have an adult in your life behaving this way. You really should tell your parents about her behavior, because it's unhealthy and could well project her disordered eating onto you eventually. What she's doing is incredibly unsafe. Not the asshole. Not to beat a dead horse, because a lot of other people have said this already, but OP, do not let this woman push her ED onto you. You're in sports. That means your body is burning through the food you put in it, and then some, so you need more food to combat that. If anything, utilize that in whatever conversation you, hopefully, decide to have with your parents about this issue. It's logical and harder to argue with. Your body requires more food for sports, and her constant comments are going to cause you harm in the long run if you don't fuel your body properly for the sport you're in. Not the asshole. You need to tell your mother and a trusted adult at school. This neurotic cow is trying to give you an eating disorder. 5 feet 7 inches, 140 pounds. Is perfectly healthy, and if you're athletic, that's all the more reason for her to mind her own business. Make sure to tell your mom and dad that she is making you measure out your food. As an athletic teen, you eat way more than sedentary teens and need to get those calories. This sounds like a control issue and can be detrimental to your growth. Best of luck. A lot of this behavior would be unacceptable even if she was your mother. What reason could she have for behaving differently when you're alone, more critical, etc.? The point of my question is this: she wouldn't misbehave and treat you poorly only in private if it was acceptable. It is unacceptable behavior, and I bet if your dad understood the depths of her behaviors, then he'd not be okay. The only reason he is okay with how she treats you is because she hides it well, and that makes it hard for you to genuinely show how she behaves with you. Tell your dad maybe? How to approach this, but I'd be pushing back so hard after a few polite attempts to get her to back off. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter a trip for fun was a no-go? I 40 F and husband 42 M. Have 4 children. Our oldest son 22 M lives on his own. We have 20 F, 18 M, 10 F, and our 2-year-old grandson that live with us. Our 20-year-old daughter is currently a single mom in nursing school. She lives with us. We pay for pretty much all expenses seeing as she is in school, and we want to see her succeed. I also dropped my full-time hours at work in order to help with childcare, so she can work and attend school. We have had to cut back and money is much tighter, but all in all we are able to help her at this time, and thankful we can help her, as we were also teen parents with not much help. We lived on our own, worked, paid our own bills, lived on a tight budget. Now comes the am I the asshole part. So as stated, we pretty much support our daughter and grandson while she is in school. We are also paying for her attorney for child support / custody, not something she wanted to do, but the father started a legal battle after she tried to work things out civilly. We have taken all of our children on spring break vacations and summer vacations every year and always paid for these trips. Last summer our daughter decided her and grandson were going to go on a trip to Alaska to visit friends that live there. They would fly out the day we returned from our summer trip. Husband and I kept our mouths shut and let her go. Now I caught wind she is planning another trip to Alaska when her semester ends in spring. I told her absolutely not, as we are financially supporting her and our grandson, and also footing thousands in legal fees for an attorney. Her taking a trip and spending that kind of money is disrespectful in my opinion. If she can spend that money, then she should be paying her own bills. I told her although she is an adult and can make her own choices, that she lives in our house, and those choices come with consequences such as her car, insurance, phone, and all other financial support would be over. Essentially this would be the straw that broke the camel's back. As much as I don't want to see her struggle as a young single mom, I'm also not going to let her be disrespectful and take advantage of our willingness to help. She is upset and says this is no different than her going on spring break or summer vacation with us as a family, and that I'm just trying to hold her back and don't want her to travel or have any fun. That she deserves to travel and go on adventures if she chooses to do so. So am I the asshole for telling her she will essentially be cut off from help financially if she chooses to take this expensive trip? Do you consider taking a trip as a family and paying the adult child's expenses different than them taking a trip on their own and spending thousands of dollars when they aren't supporting themselves? She deserves to travel and go on adventures, but she also deserves to pay her own bills, legal fees, and child care. It sounds like it might be time for her to move out and figure things out for herself. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You've reordered your life and are working to help her and grandson out. You're not doing this so she can party. If she can afford to vacation, she can afford to support herself. You've done your child raising. Time to spend your own money on yourself. Not the asshole, and it's definitely time to have her start contributing to her and her child's expenses. She obviously doesn't understand financial responsibility because she hasn't had to keep herself afloat. Start charging rent and percentages of her lawyer fees and other bills. If she doesn't like it, they can move out and she can support her own child for the full cost of living. In my opinion, write up the bills. This is what our bills and expenses used to look like. Here is what ours are now, not including what we subsidize for you. Here is the amount we spend specifically helping you. This is just an example. We restructured our lives and pay 10x the amount of expenses, yet we go on one vacation a year. Why do you think you should take 3x the amount of vacations that we do? If she has money for a vacation, it sounds like she can afford to pay her way. Or at least pay you rent, babysitting, and at minimum pay for her legal bills, her baby, food, diapers, etc., her vehicle, insurance, and phone. Not the asshole. She chose to have a child while still in school and without steady income. She's okay with you guys paying for literally all her expenses. But you're doing so she can save up and get back on her own feet. She can't save up if she's spending whatever she has left over on fun trips, and you're well within your rights to tell her the gravy train stops here. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister bring her kids to my house because they're badly behaved? I, 34F, love my sister, 37F, and I don't hate her kids, 8M and 6F. But this situation has honestly pushed me to my limit. Her kids are loud and have no sense of boundaries. Every time they come over, they are always screaming and breaking things. My sister just laughs it off and says they're just being kids. I know kids do that, but it has started feeling like they think of my house like a playground. I work hard for what I have, and I hate having I feel like I have to guard my house the entire time. After they leave, I have to clean everything and deal with the damage. My sister never offers to pay for anything or even apologize. I finally told her that until her kids can behave they can't come over anymore. She completely lost it, accused me of hating children, and said I'm punishing her just for being a mom. She told me I don't understand how hard parenting is, and now my parents are involved, and telling me I should just childproof my house, and accept that kids will be kids. I'm being treated like the bad person for setting a boundary. I don't feel like I'm asking for anything extreme. I just don't want my house trashed every time they visit. Am I the asshole? Edit. Thank you for everyone for sharing your views. Sorry didn't specify the damages in my original post, but her children have broken expensive glass decorations I have, and also broken a bed frame by jumping on my bed, among other things in the home. I'm planning on telling her that from now on we will meet in public spaces or her home, unless she's willing to control her children or pay for the damages. As for the comments saying it's obvious and what purpose of this post, in my culture family and kids come first, and seeing my parents agreed with her, I wanted a second opinion. Not the asshole. My kids are 2 and 4. We spent a day at my aunt's house just before Christmas. She has a lot of expensive, fragile items, and not one needed to be put away. My kids know what's expected of them when we go to someone else's home, and I actively parent them. There's a time and a place for kids to be kids, and that's in their own home, playground, and other kid-friendly places. She's just mad you called out her rubbish parenting. Behold, me child-proofing my house. Locks front door. Not the asshole. Kids being kids is, in this case, being used to excuse your sister's lazy parenting. Yeah, kids can be loud and wild and sometimes accidents happen, but it sounds like she lets them run feral and they have zero consequences. They're basically free-range kids. Not the asshole. We visit my in-laws every week. My kids are the same ages as your sister's kids, and both have ADHD. They clean up after themselves, are polite, know to be quieter than at home because the neighbors aren't used to their noise, apartment life. It's taken effort on my part, and my husband's, to set expectations and boundaries. But it's worth it to be able to bring my kids places without having to be on guard all the time. Not the asshole. Does she let them treat her house like that? Not that it means they can treat yours like that even if she lets her kids destroy her own shit. You can still see them at her house. At your parents' house they've kindly volunteered, because kids will be kids, so it doesn't matter if their stuff gets broken. Childproof for a 6 and 8-year-old? They are not toddlers, and should know how to act by that age. Not the asshole, keep to your rules, behave, or not welcomed. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay my MIL for a Christmas present she bought for my kid? I, 42M, am the father of 2 children, 16M and 13F. For the past few years, my children have been very conflicted about what they want for Christmas. They struggle to come up with present ideas for our family, and oftentimes will just ask for money. While lots of my family is perfectly fine with just giving them some money, and maybe something small just to have something to unwrap on Christmas, my MIL does not believe in giving out money. She bought my son a reasonably priced baseball bat, and also gave him one of his grandfather's nice golden watches. On the other hand, she bought my daughter a $450 Dyson hairdryer. While my daughter was obviously very happy about this, both me and my wife realized the price of the gift. When my wife confronted her about this, she claimed that she had expected a form of reimbursement, since it was the only thing she could find that she expected my daughter to enjoy. This is when I stepped in and said she could have gotten something much cheaper if she wasn't looking to spend lots of money, and made it very clear that we were not paying for her purchase. This led to a small fight that lingered for the rest of the day. While I am obviously very grateful for everything she does for my family, and I know she truly does care about the kids and just wanted to make them happy, I feel I have no obligation to pay something she chose to buy. You don't reimburse people for gifts. That's not how a gift works. Not the asshole. You should be under no obligation to pay anything back, especially a Christmas gift. MIL is completely in the wrong here, and her point of view is kinda insane. Not the asshole. I've gone half and half on gifts with my in-laws, but always after we discussed it. They've never bought something super pricey, and then asked me to pay half. Tacky AF. Not the asshole. Sorry MIL, if you had asked we could have told you we didn't have it in our budget to contribute to such a large gift. In the future if you'd like to have a combined gift, please let us know ahead of time, so we can discuss it. If money was an issue, why didn't she buy an off-brand edition? Not the asshole. Gifts are gifts for a reason. They shouldn't be transactional, and expecting someone to pay back money for a gift is unreasonable. She could have gotten a cheaper hair dryer, and it would work all the same.